Hello friends, my name is Bryan Smith and I'm a personal trainer here at Catalyst. Nobody's there. Nobody's over there. Why do you always have to look? I don't get it. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Hey, my name is so stupid. My fitness journey began very, very early. I always had a deep fascination with the human body. There were a few times where I saw my mom naked outside of the shower. Whatever. Hi, my name is Bryan Smith, and I'm a personal trainer here at Catalyst. And my fitness journey began relatively early in West Philadelphia. It's where I was born and raised. Most of my time was spent on the playground. A lot of days were spent just on the playground. I used to shoot a lot of basketball inside the school. Also outside the school, I was just chilling. And then I got in a fight once. Once I got in a pretty big fight outside when I was playing basketball on the playground, and my mom, she got really, really scared, so she sent me away to live with my rich uncle and Jazzy Jeff, whatever. My name is Bryan Smith, and I'm a personal trainer here at Catalyst. Now my fitness journey began, just like everybody else, very, very early, of course. We were into sports and athletics. If not, we wouldn't be doing the job we're doing now. But I grew up in a very small town in rural New Brunswick, eventually moving to the massive metropolis of Fredericton, New Brunswick, where I lived until I was about 21. And then I moved out here to Ontario. And in that time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I worked at Foot Locker, I did construction, I did some other things. I went to school for computers. And I came out here and kind of realized my passion then. I got a job at a personal training studio where I did a co-op, an internship for a few months, and that's kind of where my passion started to ignite. And from there, I've never worked at a big gym, so I was very lucky in the fact that I was only employed at small studios. And the studio you see now, which is Catalyst, I was formerly known as All Canadian Fitness. And I worked here for approximately 3 to 4 years, learning a lot of ins and outs when it came to human body, performance, rehab. I was very lucky in the fact that my boss at the time gave a lot of freedom. He knew we were all very, very smart trainers, so we can go in whatever direction we wanted. And my direction that I chose was not necessarily like injury rehab, if that's what people want to call it. It was more movement rehab. So when you had a client that came in who was 45 years old and just one day their knee hurts, it's like, why does your knee hurt? Let's figure out why your knee hurts. Instead of just being like, okay, your knee hurts, so we're not going to train legs today. What I really like to do is get deep into anatomy and deep into pain science and figure out why their knee is hurting today, didn't hurt yesterday, there's been no trauma, like what's going on. And generally what I found is that the body is a very, very intricate puzzle. So start at your bottom, work the way up, or the other way around. It doesn't matter if something isn't working throughout the chain, it's gonna throw something else off. So your knee problem can be a hip problem, your knee problem can be an ankle problem, your shoulder issue can be a hip issue. Like everything is very, very connected, and that's the direction I chose to go with fitness, and that's kind of where I really find my passion. So during my employment at All Canadian Fitness, I was very, very fortunate in the fact that we worked with a very wide array of clients. Now, generally the ones that were injured were the ones that I saw because that was my bread and butter, and that's where I truly found a lot of my strengths were. But injured clients would come in the form of elite athletes. They would come in the form of weekend warriors, office workers, senior citizens. It really didn't matter. Everybody gets, we'll call it, injured at some point. And the medical diagnosis, the x-ray, the imaging may show one thing, but they may be feeling another. And a lot of it came back to mental state and mindset. If you had two people that had the same injury, if one was in a better mental place, generally their pain was a little bit less and they recovered much, much faster than the person who's in a really negative headspace, who got a bad diagnosis from the doctor, who saw on the x-ray they have severe arthritis. So it was very, very interesting to try to navigate that type of thing. So eventually it came to a point where the owner of All Canadian Fitness decided that he wanted to go solo. He had a much better time when he didn't have to look after us idiots. So that's where he went. He took me out for lunch one day and said, "I'm done, what's your plan?" And the space was open for lease. At that time, we were about 1,200 square foot facility. We had one unit in a building on Dundurn. And I just decided at that time, like, why not? I was having a great time as a trainer, but the only other options were to go work at other big gyms, and I really liked the way this place was run. So luckily I talked to the landlord, he was on board, so we did some extensive renovations. We kind of repainted, rebuilt the place, bought some different equipment, and then from there, it's been a whirlwind of almost exactly 7 years as of May this year, 2020. So in that time, as you can see behind us, we have expanded. We have ripped down 2 other units in the plaza. We've expanded to have a physiotherapy clinic inside, a dietitian, a few massage therapists, a 24-hour open gym space, and some very strength-based boot camp classes as well. You know, I've always looked at personal training as like an art. There are a lot of personal trainers out there who get the weekend certification, work at box gyms, and literally just kind of like flex all day, stare in the mirror, text when they're with their clients, and it's more about the trainer, it's more about their ego, and unfortunately that's why a lot of people get into this business. Sure, they'd like to help people, but the research, the reading, the education that goes behind that, a lot of them don't want to do. The human body is a very, very intricate and very delicate machine, and if you don't train it the right way, you're bound to get injured. And a big part of our clientele down here at Catalyst are people that have come from other gyms, other boot camps, who are injured, not necessarily because the trainer didn't know what they were doing, but if you come from a big class as well, it's really, really hard to look at the form of everybody in the class. So they want to come back down here, learn about their body, learn about the machine, make it work properly so they can go back to those things and perform much better, and the risk of injury is much less now, the risk of re-injury. So education here is what we hold very, very dear. And it's not dry anatomy-based education, but it's showing you through our assessment, like, look, this isn't working because this isn't working. And clients are like, oh yeah, I've kind of had this other issue for a little while, and we show them, look, that's connected as well. So because we have our team here, like I said, physiotherapy, massage therapy, dietitian, we have an array of trainers that all have a very wide range of expertise. We can cover a very wide demographic. And unfortunately, when it comes to exercise, it's not as sexy as people want to make it out to be. You see some like really cool exercises on YouTube, topless men, very, very scantily clad women doing these cool, neat exercises that you've never seen before. But generally, and maybe I'm just old and cynical, you've never seen them before for a reason. They're just not that good. Tried and true exercises, the ones that have been around forever, those are the ones you need to do. So if we're thinking, when a client comes in the door for the first time here at Catalyst, we go over a very, very thorough movement assessment, bottom to top. We don't talk too much about posture because what we're realizing is that static posture really doesn't play that much of a role in how someone moves. You can have someone comes in that's really, really kyphotic, and they've got a really strong low back arch, and maybe their feet are turned out and they have a little waddle, and that person can move perfectly and be in no pain. Have someone else come through the door and they've got perfect posture, but they're in a ton of pain and their movements are so flawed. So it's not necessarily that we can take pain and associate it directly with poor movement patterns, but it's pretty damn close. Generally, if you fix up someone's movement pattern, get them to move freely, get them to move properly, get the body to move as a whole, your pain or your perception of pain really starts to go away. So that starts here with some foam rolling. If you have really, really tight muscles, if you're really restricted, you want to incorporate some blood flow, get some circulation going, so we get you on the foam roller. And a lot of people, when you're in pain, the foam roller sucks, like it hurts a lot. The reason it hurts is it's because you need it. So you foam roll, do some activation, do some mobility drills, and get into the strength exercises. And exercise too, it's not just about going 100% every time you go to the gym. Like, that's competition, and you just got to like destroy yourself. And if you don't leave sweating and feeling like you're going to puke and really dizzy, then it's not an effective workout. In fact, it's almost the opposite. Like, you want to push yourself, but if you leave the gym and you've exerted like 60, 70% of your max, that's perfect. That's great, because the next time you do it, exerting 60 or 70% of your max is going to mean you do a little bit less, so you can push yourself a little farther. It's about long-term progress. It's not just about destroying yourself every time you go to the gym, because as we get older, it's not sustainable, and it's really not that beneficial. So the way we do things here is much, much different. Some of our clients leave here and they feel really good. All of our clients leave here and they feel good. You should never leave the gym and feel more sore or more tired than you did when you walked in. You should always leave with more energy. You should always leave feeling more mobile and feeling very, very strong, because that's overall going to lead to you feeling better about your gym experience and want to come back to the gym. I know a lot of people go to these boot camps and they're like, oh, I hate it, but I leave and I'm just really, really sweaty and I'm sore, but I know it's good for me. And like, really? Is it good for you? Do you know it's good for you? Sometimes it isn't. When you create that positive association and you create a good energy back and forth with the gym, with your workouts, you're going to want to do them more. You're not going to dread them. You're not going to just want to stay away from the gym. You want to go to the gym more, which is really the end goal. So within this platform, there are a few things that I personally want to accomplish. Number one is we want to get rid of a lot of the nonsense that is in this fitness industry. It's unfortunate. You can go on YouTube and there's a wide array of experts, and there's also a wide array of experts. So what we're going to do is sift through all of that through a little channel that's called Fitness BS, which BS are also my very generic initials but it also means bullshit. So we're gonna sift through, we're gonna give you the right and wrong. We're not gonna say don't do this, but we're just gonna show you ways to do things where you're not gonna waste your time. We're gonna debunk the myths, and we're gonna show you how to not waste time in the gym and how to get the most from your workout. Now, another thing I wanna do is talk about anatomy, and I don't, like everyone right now is like, anatomy in itself is very dry. And unless you really love that stuff, it's hard to get behind it and understand it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna address it in a little more of a comedic way, ideally, hopefully. I think it's funny, so whatever, hopefully you do. And we're gonna show you how you should move based on your muscles and your joints. Not how you should move based on your office job and doing these stretches, or if you're going out for a run and you see people doing the same things, you're like, I know I have to do more of those things, but why? We're gonna show you why. We're gonna teach you about your own anatomy. We're gonna show you how you should move. Self-test at home so you can be like, I don't have that. Why don't I have that range? Maybe that's why my shoulder hurts. Or maybe my shoulder hurts because I don't have that range. We're gonna teach you different ways to figure that out on your own. And then the last thing I want to do is we're going to go over exercise progressions. I don't necessarily want to go, here's a sweet back workout, here's a sweet leg workout. Instead, what I'm going to do is show you how you can build your workout based on your personal asymmetries or imbalances. So how many pull exercises should you do? How many push exercises should you do? Should you do more quad exercises, more hamstring-based exercises? Like, where do you move in the gym? Which exercise is the most beneficial? Body weight, free weight machines. There are so many different ways to do it, and I'm going to teach you the best way for you specifically. So the last thing I want to do is thank you for watching this channel. I hope you get a lot out of it. If you have any questions at all, my email address is hopefully right about there. Click on it, send me a note. If you have any ideas, if you have any tips, if you have any questions that you want answered in any of this video series, please feel free to reach out.